Hi, everybody. I'm David Burgess at Apollo Fundraising, and here are 5 things you can do today to give your funding proposals a better chance of success. Number 1, make sure you're answering the right question. Now, that seems really simple, but a lot of fundraisers, when they're writing funding proposals, are writing from the perspective of how can this funder help me? How can this help my organization? But that's not the question trustees and grant makers are asking when they're sitting down making those decisions. They're not sitting there saying, we've got this big pile of cash, how do we get rid of it? They're looking at it from the point of view of they've got a charitable mission they're trying to achieve. So if you can write your proposal from that point of view, how can we help you, the funder, rather than the other way around? We're going to write a better proposal. We're going to answer that question that they're sitting there judging. We're going to be able to show how by supporting you and your organization's work, you can help them to achieve their charitable aims and you can have the biggest impact. Number 2, make your proposal quicker and easier to read. Now, we would love to think that grant managers are sitting there poring over every carefully chosen word, every beautifully crafted sentence. But the reality is that's not the case. We get far less time with our proposal in front of a grant manager than we'd like. And generally, there's other things going on around them as well. We don't have 100% of their concentration. They're going to be distracted. And you're going to be competing against that big pile of proposals. So who knows where within that pile your proposal is going to come out and how much mental energy they've got at that point. So we need to cut the proposals down, only give them the information they need, try and cut out anything else that might provide background noise or distract them when they're trying to read. Keep it to short sentences, 10 to 12 words per sentence, ideally as an average, and try and look at how you use the formatting to get your key points across. So things like headers, bullet points, image captions, all of these spaces that our eyes are drawn to when we're reading quickly and when we might be starting to skim read through applications. Tip 3, make it understandable, make your work visceral. It's amazing how many proposals you read where you get to the end and you think, I've got no idea what they do, what this is. And the reason for this is when we're writing proposals, we've got that mental image in our head. We can see our project, we can see our organization's work. So anything we write on that page, anything we write into that proposal makes sense to us because we've got that image to link it back to. Grant managers, trustees, funding bodies, they haven't got that. So whatever you put on the page has to stand up on its own 2 feet. So remember, you're coming to them largely as a blank canvas. So you've got to really paint that picture, make it really clear what it is you're doing, what it is you're asking for them to support. Try and link it to something that they might already know, or link it to something they can get that clear mental image of, and then show how you're different or show how your work compares to that. It's going to make it much more likely that they're going to get that visceral feeling of what it is you're asking them to do. Tip 4, make it memorable. So many proposals look, feel, sound the same. This is your chance to bring your work to life. No one's saying that we've got to write in quite a cold academic way. Your proposal isn't a piece of English literature coursework. Be human. There are humans on the other side of this process. So tell story, bring your passion for your work into the proposal. And why not look for ways to make your proposal look different to everyone else's? If I've got a pile of 300 proposals that all look the same and one within it that really stands out from the crowd, it's going to be memorable. It's going to stick in my mind. And it means that when we're making those difficult decisions of how do we get that pile of 300 down to the 30 that are going to go to the trustee meeting, those ones that stick in our mind, those ones that put a smile on our face, that we have that positive experience of, stand more chance of going through to the next round. Sounds completely unfair, but this is a human process. There are humans involved at all stages of this. Final tip, get your proposal in early. Often when we see that the deadline is 5 o'clock on 31st of December, we will wait until 4:58 to click submit. And I've seen this being on the other side. The last funding round we set up, 5 o'clock deadline, we still had proposals coming in 1 minute, 2 minutes past 5. Chances are they weren't sent at that time. I'm sure whoever it was click submit a couple of minutes before. But with more and more funders moving online, either through email or through online grants platforms, portals, there's always going to be that scope for things to get lost or get delayed getting through. So don't give yourself that stress, and don't let your proposal get ruled out without your knowing because it's been held up and not reached the funder in time. The other reason to do that is with funders seeing more and more competition, the earlier you can get your proposal in, the more chance they're going to have to read it, but also the less competition there is at that time. One grant funder told me they get 5% of their applications ahead of the deadline, 90% on deadline day, and 5% after. So if you're in that 5% that are coming in early, you've got space. There's far less sitting on their desk for them to compare you against or to compete against. And if they know they've got that tidal wave of applications crashing through their door on deadline day, you bet they're going to get ahead of the curve. So 5 tips there, 5 things you can easily start putting in place to give your proposals a better chance of success. Now, if you're looking for more help, more support with your proposal writing, our training session on writing successful proposals is probably the most popular one we do. It's certainly the highest rated course that we run. So do check out apollofundraising.com for upcoming dates on when we're delivering that course. The other thing we've recently introduced is a proposal review service. So if you want someone to cast an eye over your proposal and to look at it from the perspective of a funder, to judge how easy it is to read, how easy it is to understand, and ultimately how easy it is to fund, this is your chance. It's £150 for a short proposal, so up to 3 pages, £300 if your proposal is 4 to 10 pages. And we'll go through that process. We'll run it through a series of exercises designed to see how it's likely to be perceived and treated by a grant manager, so you can identify any of those things that might be getting in the way of your success before you click submit. Again, all the details on apollofundraising.com. In the meantime, good luck with your fundraising.